Very special day for an iconic franchise. Las Vegas is officially an NFL city.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Raid the Tape. I'm your host, Guess, and today we're going to be breaking down some Clelin Ferrell tape at the defensive tackle spot. Now, the reason I wanted to do this is because the sentiment is that him being kicked to the inside makes him lose production, and Mike Mayock himself said this last offseason.
What does Clelin Ferrell have to do to take sort of next step year 1, year 2?
I think, first of all, we've got to do a better job with him, meaning, we asked him to kick inside early. I think that slowed him down. He got sick. I think that slowed him down. I'd like to keep him in one place and continue to work with who he is as a pass rusher.
And when we go into these stat lines, into the analytics, and watch this film, we're going to see, does he really lose production? And you guys can let me know down in the comments what you guys think at the end of the video. And if you could, please like and subscribe. I do appreciate it. And so back to the video, you see that he had a PFF grade of 62.3 in 2019, and it went to a 76.1 this last season. Now that's a dramatic change, but mind you, when you go down the list, it says he missed 5 to 6 games. And that's pretty rough because that's a third of the season, right? And you can't be missing third of the season. When you go down, you'll see that he was actually our highest rated defender on the defense. So that's another positive. Now we're going on to rate the player. And you'll see he played 62 defensive tackle snaps out of a total of 461 snaps. Now you just heard Mike Mayock say that he thinks Ferrell lost production because he was kicked to the inside. But mind you, when you look at these snap counts, Clelin Ferrell in 2019 actually played 24 snaps at D tackle versus 62 this year. In his first year, he played more snaps. So basically, he played defensive tackle 3 times as much than he did last year. That seemed kind of contradicting, and I thought that was pretty interesting. So this makes me really want to see how he's using this third year, just based off of that. He had 30 pressures on those 461 snaps, 20 hurries, and 19 stops. Only 2 sacks and 2 forced fumbles. And mind you, they both came from the same game, and then yes, it was that Jets game. So I wonder how he would have done if he would have played the whole season, right? So that's something we just have to take in consideration. And when I do these videos, I try to be unbiased as possible. I just want to look at some stats that are interesting. Now we're going to jump into this first video. So right here, you'll see he's lined up in that A gap right over number 75, the guard. And these first couple of plays are basically screen passes, and what we want to see is his awareness and his play recognition. How well does he play against the screen? But mind you, when he's at D tackle, it's most likely a pass rushing situation, so he's just trying to get to the quarterback. So when you look at this one, you just take kind of with a grain of salt. He goes in, he tries to get his hands up, but it just goes right over his hands, and they end up getting a gain. On to the next play, we got the New Orleans Saints, and he's lined up at the A gap again. And right there, he's going to be going up against number 75, but he does realize it's a screen play. He gets back, and he helps Arnett with the cleanup tackle. So that's pretty good recognition right there. That's what you would like to see almost every single time, but you know you're not going to get that every single time. And here we got the Jets, where he had that infamous game that everybody remembers, where he was just basically teeing off on the Jets. So here he is lined up in the B gap this time, pretty much the 3 technique. He doesn't really get off the ball quick enough to where he can get to the ball carrier. So he's mainly in there for the pass rushing abilities at the D tackle spot. And you wouldn't want to really put him at D tackle for run stopping, because I think his quickness to get to the quarterback off the line is really where you get the advantage. His strength and ability at the defensive end spot is better for the run. So that's why I kind of take the screen plays and the run plays with a grain of salt, because he's mainly in there for the pass rushing downs. So right here's another run play, and you see he ends up getting double teamed. Not too much to see, but we do stop him, and he takes up 2 offensive linemen, and that's what I like to see. And here we got the Brady Bunch visiting Vegas, and he's lined up at your B gap. That's Ali Marpet, and Ali Marpet's no joke, but on this play, he ends up pulling in, and Ferrell ends up taking on the center Jensen. And Jensen isn't bad himself, he's actually a dog, but you see Jensen gets rolled up, but Clelin Ferrell still finishes on the play, and that's what you want to see. He has that follow through, he gets off quick, he gets the punch, and then he continues to follow through and doesn't lose hold of that ball carrier. But without further ado, it's finally time to get into those pass rushing situations. We're going to see how he does it, those 3 phases. Does he get off the ball quick? What happens when he engages with the blocker? And does he have follow through? So in this first place against the Chiefs, and he did great against the Chiefs, right? He's lined up at your B gap, and you'll see right here, he gets a little antsy, a little jumpy, and he tries to rip through. He gets upfield, but he doesn't create the most pressure. So let's jump into the next play. Okay, so we got the Saints. He's right there at that 2 spot. You see, he's gonna engage with the blocker, and let's see what happens. He does a little hand swipe, punch. It looks like they got in a boxing match right there, and he said, "I'm out of here," and went straight to Drew Brees. Let's get that one more time. Look at this. Watch when he engages with the blocker. Look at his hands. See his hand movement? That was pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of sporadic, but it was crazy. That guard had no chance, and it was somewhat of a stunt. But I feel like you can't take that away from him, because look at that guard. He was clueless and the tackle was clueless. So, okay, let's go to this next play. Here we got the Chiefs again. And of course, he's at the D tackle spot. He's lined up in that, it looks like he's lined up in that B gap. Looks like he's lined up in that B gap. He's pretty wide for the D tackle. But he goes up and look at this. Look at this double hand swipe. That thing is vicious. And you'll see the guard yanks him down, goes up and pushes him in the back, and there's no penalty. Now, I don't know what refs, I don't know who the refs were out there, but you know, being a Raider Nation, they never call any penalties in our favor. And I do not understand that, because when you go back and look at this. This is terrible. And I'm going to play this in slow motion because I want you guys to just look at his hands. Watch his hand skills. Wow. Swipe. The dude has no chance. Look at the offensive lineman. The dude is literally looking down at his shoes. He's looking down at his feet, and he only has his left arm to corral him. And look what he does. He yanks him down. Like, how is that not holding? There's a referee right there, and he doesn't call that. He goes up for the quarterback, and he pushes him in the numbers. He literally puts his hand on 96 and pushes him. I just don't understand that. This play right here frustrated me when I went back and watched it, because if Tyreek Hill would have caught this pass, man, that's 7 points. And it's like, come on, that's a big penalty. Referees out here blind. But let's go to the next play before I get too frustrated and see what we got in store. And here we got the Saints again. And he's lined up right over 75. And he's destroying these guards with the number 75. Notice when he was playing the Chiefs, he was number 75. Notice when he was playing Carolina, the guard was 75. Now we have the Saints with number 75. I thought it was just kind of a trip. And you see he gets his hands up and he does that hand swipe. And you'll see, and the way you know is because look at the guard's right arm. You'll see the guard's right arm swing out and he gets upfield and he makes Drew Brees roll out the pocket, and that forces the right tackle to hold Max Crosby, because Max Crosby was getting there too. And you see this time we actually get a flag. That's a beautiful play. I like that. Let's see this one. And right here, you're going to see he does the hand swipe again. And I put these plays in order of pass rushing move as best as I could. And he has a hand swipe kind of rip move that he likes to use. And it's like a combination of a swim. And you see here when he gets his hands on him, this time he kind of gets stuck, but then he does the hand swipe down and gets around. And look how he gets upfield. And this is what I was talking about. When you get on a blocker, you just don't get stuck on the blocker. I feel like when I did the Solomon Thomas tape, Solomon Thomas would get stuck on a blocker and just be stuck there and have to wait for the ball carrier to go to him. When you watch this, you just seen an example of he'll get on a block, he'll get stuck, and then he figures out how to get around and he still creates pressure. And that was a perfect example of what it looked like to get off a block, even though you didn't initially win. Here we got Carolina one more time. We're going to double back, but he's on the other D tackle spot, and he's lined up against 67 right there in that B gap. And this one is a little different because I feel like he loses balance, but at the same time, I don't know if he realized Bridgewater was throwing the ball, so he lunged at him and he was just trying to get his hand in the way. But you guys let me know down in the comments. I really don't see Clelin Ferrell having a balance issue or a leverage issue. He's pretty solid when it comes to that, but I just want to throw this play in here just to see what you guys think about it. So first we were looking at the hand swipe, kind of a swim, whatever you want to call it, however you guys want to chalk it up. I'm not very technical, but you'll see here against the Chargers that he is going ham. He pushes inside and he ends up getting the guard to turn. That's what you want to see. The guard should not be turning. A guard should be straight up, basically. Only people that should turn are really tackles, but these guards are end up getting turned out. And check this out. This is against Betonio, another number 75. And here he goes on the inside and rips through, and he has no chance. Mayfield has to get the ball off, and that's a good play. I like that. Look, another third down play, and he gets the pressure, makes him punt the ball, and that's beautiful. That's what we want to see. Now we're on to basically my favorite part of the tape, and that's Clelin Ferrell's spin move. So far, we've seen about 2 to 3 pass rush moves, whether it's a rip, spin, or a hand swipe. but this time it's the spin move, and I'm telling y'all right now, this thing is straight lethal. Just take a look at this. He's going up against 75. He's right there at the 3 tag one more time, and boom, he gets that spinning. That's an automatic pressure right there. He has to step up, but we have nobody there to clean it up, and he still forces an incomplete pass. That's a great play right there. That's a great move. And for a guy that's playing D tackle that's big as him, it's not easy doing that, because to spin, you have to keep your balance. You have to have a good center of gravity, right? You can't just be out there being floppy and being goofy on the field. You got to have your legs up under you. And I'm telling you, this spin move is flawless, because we'll even see here against the Chiefs that he executes it perfectly, and he makes Mahomes take off running. And just look at that. That guard has no chance. He has no chance. And we have nobody there to clean it up, but he forces another incomplete pass. And that spin move is lethal. I just love it, man. Just look at this. Just look at this one right here against the Chargers. He's going to get double teamed, and boom, he kills him on it. He just straight kills him on it. And I know he passes him off on that play, but you seen the previous two, it was straight lethal. You know what I mean? And I just love it. So far, we've seen about 3 or 4 different pass rush moves, and it's just showing that he is working on his craft. You're not good at these moves unless you work on your craft. These are techniques. These are pass rush moves. You have to work on this kind of stuff. You can't just get strong and be fast and you're going to be good at this. You're not. You have to be in the lab. You have to be working on this. And with that being said, I'm going to end the play with a couple of double teams that he takes on while he's at defensive tackle, because it just shows his follow through. And this video is a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but trust, I had a lot more tape out and I really couldn't fit everything in, because it would have been too long, and I didn't want to go over 10 minutes. I don't want my videos to be over 10 minutes. I want them to be short, simple, and sweet, so you guys can be in and out, watch them real quick, and just see what's going on. And I just want to hear what you guys have to say about it and where your guys' outlook is, because I really do appreciate the feedback, because I don't know it all. And sometimes when you guys comment, you guys might have me think of something to help me put out content or view something in a different way. So I appreciate you guys coming to check out the video. If you guys could, please like the video if you like it. If you don't, it's okay. Everybody has different opinions, but I still appreciate you checking out the content. If you like the video though, go ahead and subscribe, and also leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about Clelin Ferrell at the defensive tackle spot. Should we continue to play him inside on pass rushing downs, or just full time, or just keep playing him the way we are, or just not at all? Go ahead and let me know down in the comments. I appreciate you guys watching the film again, and until next time, rate the tape.
Went on 3, 1.